Summary of the Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace by Jeffrey Hobbs. A young woman named Jackie Peace gives birth to a son named Robert Peace in the year 1980. The father is Robert Skeet Douglas, a young, smart drug dealer. Jackie really likes Skeet, but she doesn't want to marry him because she thinks it will cause fights and make Skeet leave the house. At a time when crime and drug use are rising quickly in Newark, Robert grows up in a poor family. I can tell that Robert is a smart kid, but he learns quickly how to hide it and act tough to fit in with his friends. Robert definitely looks up to his father because he teaches him fighting, sports, and rap. Jackie doesn't like any of these things because she's afraid Robert will get involved with drugs. Skeet is caught and found guilty of killing 2 women when Robert is still a little boy. He says he is not guilty and that the criminal justice system is biased against him. At about the same time, Jackie makes the choice for Robert to go to a private school. Because she knows her child needs a great education, she works longer hours to pay for it. Robert turns out to be a smart but moody kid who hides a lot of anger and loneliness. Jackie gets a second job to pay for Robert to go to high school at St. Benedict's Prep, a well-known private school in Newark that now mostly serves low-income Black and Latino students. Fr. Edwin Leahy is the young, enthusiastic teacher of St. Benedict's, and he comes to admire Robert for being smart and good at leading. Robert starts to play water polo in high school and does really well. He also becomes close with Victor Raymond, Drew Jewison, Curtis Gamble, Julia Starks, and Tavares Hester, some of his peers. They'll always be friends with Robert. Robert gets into a lot of good schools, like Yale University, but decides that he won't be able to pay the price when he graduates from high school. A rich former student of St. Benedict's, on the other hand, offers to pay his school fees, no questions asked. In the fall of 1998, Robert goes to Yale in New Haven, Connecticut. One of his roommates is Jeff Hobbs, who wrote this book. Jeff comes from a wealthy family with Yale graduates, and at first he thinks that Robert, who plays water polo and went to a private school, does too. They also live with Dan Murray from Seattle and Ty Canty, a half-black track star. Robert and Jeff aren't very close in their first term at Yale. Robert starts smoking a lot of pot and hanging out with other Black kids. His main complaints are that Yale is unfair to students of color and that many of his peers are soft and spoilt. That way, Robert can send money to his mom. He works part-time jobs at Yale. People with these jobs often have to deal with wealthy Yale students, which can be awkward. Robert eventually starts selling weed to his friends. Robert and his friends continue to live together during his sophomore year. Jeff and Robert become closer. They talk about their families and their hopes for the future for long periods of time late at night, and Jeff finds out about Robert's relationship with his father. He knows Skeet is in jail, but he doesn't know that Robert has been trying to overturn his father's sentence but has been turned down each time. By the end of the year, Robert's room is known as Stoner Central. Although Robert is studying in molecular biophysics and biology, which is one of the hardest fields at Yale, he does well in school. By the end of his senior year, Robert had made $100,000 by selling weed to his peers. At his graduation, he tells his mother how much she loves and supports him. Jeff writes a book and gets married to a beautiful woman named Rebecca after he graduates. Soon, he starts to go through all the ups and downs that come with being in your mid-20s. Robert goes to Newark again. He talks about going to graduate school in a way that doesn't mean anything. He leaves his money with Carl, an old family friend, while he goes on a month-long trip to Rio de Janeiro. But when he gets back to Newark, he finds that Carl has taken his money and used it all to pay off his bills. Robert gets a low-paying job teaching biology at St. Benedict's Prep because he is upset and angry. He still hangs out with his high school friends, but it's harder for him to fit in his old neighborhood because many people don't know how to treat him because he goes to Yale. Robert gets involved in a string of bad business ideas. People believe him when he says he can rent out his new house and make a lot of money, but he doesn't. Robert's old Yale friends often tell him to get the fuck out of Newark and get a good job, but Robert just laughs them off. Raquel Diaz, one of Robert's best friends from Yale, is very hard on him. She tells him that he's only responsible for his own failures in life since he graduated from one of the best schools in the world. Still, Robert continues to sell more pot in his old neighborhood in Newark. His friends have noticed that he looks tired. Robert and his high school friends join a dangerous but possibly successful business. They buy bad marijuana and use butane flames to turn it into high-quality sour diesel. That project takes months, and Robert does most of the work. But the friends start making a lot of money every week by selling their product. At the same time, Robert keeps saying that he's going to apply to graduate schools soon, but he never does. At about the same time, Skeet died of brain cancer in jail. Robert hears a car outside one night while he and Curtis are sitting in Robert's house. When he opens the door, 2 or 3 guys rush in right away. Robert keeps his pot in the basement, which is where they take him. After hearing a gunshot, Curtis sees the guys running out of the house. He was shocked to find out that Robert had died. Jeff sees many of his old Yale friends again at Robert's funeral. He also hangs out with Robert's friends from home. Some of them he met in college, and some he's meeting for the first time. He learns that he never really knew Robert. Behind the easygoing and cocky exterior, Robert was hiding some dark secrets.
About the author. Jeffrey Hobbs grew up in East Orange, New Jersey. He graduated from Yale in 2002 with an English literature degree. For his college work, he won a number of important writing awards, such as the Willits Prize for Literature. After high school, Hobbs worked for the African Rainforest Conservancy and lived in Tanzania. His first book, The Tourists, about 4 new Yale grads, came out in 2007 and became a national hit. He wrote his first nonfiction book, The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace, which came out in 2014. The book won several prizes and was praised by critics. Hobbs and his wife live in Los Angeles.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.